Hey guys, I'm going to talk about removing AK handguards. So on AK-47, the handguards are pretty much held in by two pieces. One is going to be your standard sling swivel right here, and of course your gas block. Your rifle's going to have to be unloaded and field stripped from the rear end, so make sure you take out all the dust cover, the bolt carrier, etc. Right, so after all that's done, you're going to lift this gas the lock ring, the lock lever up here. It should be in a down position, locked into a D10. All you got to do is lift it up, and it'll raise straight up like so. Once that's done, you just lift up the gas tube itself, and it will wedge out, and it will come out like so. Okay, and then down here, if you look inside, you will see right up in there. If I raise it up so you, sorry, lower it down so y'all can see. There's this little lock pin that should be flush parallel with the barrel. Get a screwdriver, just pry that lock pin up, and it will move the sling swivel out of the way for you. Oops, bumped it too much there. Alright, so once that thing is kind of moved in the off position, that sling swivel crack loose like that. So that's sling swivel right here can now freely rotate, and it's out of the way, and your lower handguard can be removed. Right? So once you take that off, if you want to remove this top piece, all you got to do is easiest thing you can do is take this thing, take it over here to a vise, and go over to this vise right here. Not use that little Dremel thing yet. Alright, crank it down to where you can clamp the bottom portion of your gas block and turn it 90 degrees like so. Okay, and the handguard will slide off, because now if you notice from the top, sorry about that, if you notice from the top, the this little half moon notch is now turned inverted, so now that thing will easily pop out like that. Sorry, I'm trying to do this one-handed, so work with me here. There you go. That's it. So it'll pop right off. So turn it full 180 and line it up on the opposite end, and it'll slip right out. Okay, so that's how you remove AK handguards. Pretty much it'll work for any standard com block AK handguard removal. Cool. Thanks for watching. All right. Camera a little bit. Alright guys, so installing this Ultimak. See, get that in the camera. So we're pretty much going to line it right here. Just remember that there's going to be a gap right there. Y'all can see that plain as day, even though that this part right here is all the way forward. That gap is there from Ultimak in order for this rail, the UB7 or 7B, sorry, M7B, to accommodate a variety of different lengths of com block AKs. From this point right here, you're going to take one of those U-clamps, and you're going to just kind of put it on the bottom there. Alright, you want these U-clamps to be just kind of up in there to where it sits in the recessed pieces, like so. Okay, because you have to install your lower handguard in first. So all you're going to do is drop that lower handguard back in place like so. Put your clamp in place. That way you can move the gas block out of the way so y'all can see it. Alright. So those U notches, those U clamps stay in place. You know, wiggle that bad boy back in the handguard. Fucking sling lock, come on. Gotta rotate back in place, come on, you motherfucker. I have to smack this a little bit. Stay tuned for these new messages. Said it was going so well. Come on, you piece of shit. Get on here. There we go. Alright. So, get that little knock started. Bump it into place. Lock it down. And slide those two U-clamps back forward. See if I can move them lugs forward again. There we go. Alright, then you take that Ultimak and just kind of eyeball where the U-clamp needs to be. And it's about almost there. Too much. Alright. Almost. Alright, how about do it? And just get those screws started, like all screws, like you normally do. Put some Loctite on there. Be pretty generous with it. Remember, if it's a screw on a gun, it needs to have Loctite. If you don't ever plan on taking it off, use red. If you eventually plan on taking it off, use some other color but red. Green, blue, purple. Usually we default to blue or red, but unfortunately I'm out of both those colors right now. The blue one's empty, so I'm going to use this green stuff. Alright, and just get those screws kind of started. Ultimak relies on those two U-clamps to lock underneath that barrel, and it's actually a very sturdy setup. So when this Ultimak is on, it will be able to be fixed. So you can mount your red dot up here and a flashlight if you put a 90-degree offset mount on there. Alright, once all your screws are started, just tighten it up in a star pattern, just like you would if you're removing lug nuts off your truck. Just go into that star pattern, go into crisscross, do a few rotations. Alright. Now sometimes people say, well, you need X amount of torque on this fucking screw or this, whether it's a scope screw, a castle nut screw, or fucking locking in a barrel. I guess I've been assembling guns, I won't say assembling, fixing guns, i.e. taking them apart and breaking them down for over 15 years with a college age budget, which means jack shit. Never had a problem after tens of thousands of rounds, but yes, you probably should take your shit to a professional. But all we're doing is installing a rail. Alright, so just gonna make these suckers snug. Sweet mother. Alright, and it's just to test it. Drop the bolt carrier in. You want to make sure that the front side of that metal stem goes all the way forward and does not interfere with the gas block itself. Alright, if it does, you may have to loosen it up and move something. So make sure it slides forward and back. There's a little bit of friction in there, so it looks like I'm going to have to move this back. Alright, that's fairly easy to do. Loosen that up. Say, well, how am I going to move that forward? Well, that's very easy. Let's get these screws loose first. It's hot as a motherfucker. That's me sweating. Alright. You can hand slide it forward. Alright. Push it all the way up there if you need to. And before I lock it in place, let's drop that bolt carrier back in. Alright, so bolt carrier back in, rocking it forward. Looks like that'll work. So just retighten those 4 screws on those U clamps in that same star pattern. Make sure it's on there pretty hand tight. You want to fairly, I'm gonna say pretty fucking snug, so you'll know what I mean. Don't get all gorilla stupid on it and torque the fuck out of it, because you'll strip the screws. They're pretty common screws, 9/64, using a 9/64 Allen head wrench. I don't know what the thread size is, but you'll probably find it if you fuck it up. But you're probably better off calling Ultimak. Alright. Alright, and just reassemble your AK like you normally would. Alright, do that. Drop the bolt carrier in place. Shit. Put the bolt part back in. Drop your bolt carrier in place. Recoil spring. And your dust cover. Right. That's it. Ultimak M7B installed, ready for your optics and your lights and your lasers and all of your other bullshit that you want to add on there. Alright guys, thanks for watching. That is how to install an Ultimak rail on an AK. Check them out, they're good shit. I know, because I paid for it.